Welcome to 305 Radio. This is Struck, and today we have Derek Lane on the show. The official episode for Derek Lane. What's up, homie? How you doing?
What is up, big dog? And you know what, man? When you say the official episode, I just have to get this out. Fuck, I need to say something because last time we were recording it on the microphone at the radio station, couldn't curse. I'm like, oh shit, how are we gonna do this, man? I just had to get that out.
Everything out.
I'm like, okay, man, freedom. Just making sure, freedom. Let's get this.
You got it, man. So Derek, tell for those that aren't familiar with you, that don't follow you on IG, that haven't been online for years, because you're everywhere.
Absolutely.
Tell me, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. First and foremost, if you are not following me, I am at Derek Lane Media on all platforms. Make sure you do that. If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, Twitter, all those platforms, look me up, follow me. So what I do on my social media, I do Miami-based commentary videos. I'll do Miami funny videos. I'll also talk about news that is national. I'll talk about sports, everything. I treat my platform like SNL, where I'll talk about current events, but sometimes I'll add in like the funny flavor to it just to kind of make it entertaining. Okay. And through my platform, I also do music. I wrote a children's book. I put out a children's theme song to the book as well. Both performed well, and it was all by the power of social media.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed with all the things that you've achieved up to this point, man. That we had you on the radio show, 101.1 FM, 2 Box, the community radio, right? But we when we were on the show, we briefly went over a few of your highlights, man. But that's the beauty of being able to do this podcast now, because we really could dig into it, the nitty gritty. And you're an author. You wrote a book for your son with your kids, not
yes,
for, but
yes,
with,
yes.
Right? What's the name of the book?
AJ from Outer Space Town.
AJ from Outer Space Town. How did that come to fruition, man?
Well, there was just one day, my youngest son, AJ, he loved to come around. Whenever I was recording a video, he would pull up and he just wanted to get on the microphone. So this one day he was like, Daddy, can I please talk? And I'm like, all right, bet, cool, let's do this. So I set up the microphone and we did like a kid say the darndest thing type of moment where I asked him his name and he said, I'm AJ and I'm from Outer Space Town. And I was like, yo, that's pretty dope. That's a concept. That's a book. Let's put that out. That's like a cartoon. And this was still in the pandemic, and summer school was not a thing. Summer camp was not a thing. So I was like, the kids need a summer project. So I decided to build this book with them from start to finish, have them as involved as possible. We set a deadline. I had them hire the artists. I had them review my song that I wanted to put out with the book. I had them name all the characters. They were the people who signed off on everything that was involved in this project.
Nice. And then when you say you got them involved, they signed off on it. Did you explain to them the importance of them saying yes or no?
Absolutely. It was something that was so invaluable to teach them that, to be brave enough to say no, especially to me, because, you know, to them, I'm daddy. So when I come with an idea, they have to be strong enough and stand on their own voice to tell me no. They have to be comfortable to tell me no. And they have to be comfortable in their ideas amongst all of them and say, you know what, we agree cohesively that this is what we want to do and make that decision together. So it was just something that I think was probably the most benefit of the whole entire project.
It's amazing. And I mean, did they so just run me through the process real quick. You gave them the idea, you spoke about it, you went through the whole production planning of it. Then they said yes or no, which was empowering, I bet, for them to be able to make final decisions on things. Did their way of looking at this project change from the way it started to the end?
They were actually surprisingly consistent. They never faltered in the idea of the project. They never changed from their original ideas. They had a vision that they stuck to. Even when things got thrown into their way, they managed to, stay the course, which was dope because a lot of times people pivot, change certain things. They give in to certain things that aren't working. And they were like, nope, this is what we want. This is how we're going to make it happen. Let's do it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. How long was that process?
This came out, that video I recorded with my son was probably in late April, and we released it on July 29th. So, just 4 or 5 months.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. And then the music for it.
The music for it, that's something that I do easily. I was
Okay.
always a musician, so the idea for the song didn't take long for me to create. It was just the process of them deciding that whether or not they were going to rock with it. Thankfully, there was only a few reviews that I had to go through to them. They were like an American Idol panel.
Okay.
AJ was like Simon Cowell. He was like, "Nope, not feeling it. That sucks. That's trash." And I had to go back to the drawing board, but we got it right.
That's what's up. That's good. That's really good. Now, you put out the book with the song at the same time. The book charted, the song charted.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, the book reached number 11 on Amazon. Crazy. I did not expect that. When we set out, it was nothing about let's chart, let's do anything like this. Then the song climbed all the way to number 2 on iTunes.
Awesome.
Only to be beat by Baby Shark. Now, keep in mind, not too many people follow children's music or anything like that. But if you remember things like Kids Bop was a beast. That is a big machine. Number 2 meant that Kids Bop got jumped. We beat out Kids Bop, just a project between me and the kids. And then magic happened.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing, man. And you have a follow-up coming to that?
Yeah, and it has to be right. There were a lot of things in the process where we went independent that I enjoyed. A couple of things that I did not like for the book to have the reception that I wanted it to have. Yes, number 11 was great. Number 2 was great, but it could have done better.
Always could have done better.
The follow-up has to be right. We already have the idea of how we are going to do it, and I just cannot wait. It's going to be a dope project. They're involved. We're also going to do something different. With the book coming up, we're going to have them do a Kindle version where they're going to take turns just reading the book, and then we're going to put out an Audible version.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That is dope. Are they going to have their own podcast eventually?
I don't know. I don't know if that's their thing. AJ might. But man, if he does, you guys got to get ready. It's definitely going to be explicit. He's like the youngest kid from Bebe's Kids, and I don't know where he gets it from. AJ was born to be like a little Chucky, and he has such a big personality. So if he does have a podcast, it's going to be entertaining. My older 2 boys, they don't have that type of personality or drive. They're more on the artsy side.
Got it.
So I don't know if they'll have a podcast or anything like that, but we'll see. Who knows?
That's dope, man. That's really good.
Yeah.
So we mentioned the book. Have you ever done a book before that?
No, never.
Awesome. Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. So that's a great experience from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So you're an author now. You put out music, but you were doing music beforehand.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about your musical history here.
All right, my musical history. So I was a rapper first.
What was your name?
My name that I went by. Oh my God, let me tell you.
And do you want to drop some bars?
I am not dropping bars. I am not dropping bars. But I went by the name Climax. And it wasn't because of anything sexually. I was a nerd. So it was because the Climax was the most action in the story and everything. I never knew until I was in a rap battle. So the moment I found out that my name was a target, I was in the battle. This kid said something to me, and he was like, "Yeah, and that's how I make your mom climax." I said, "What the fuck kind of name do I have?" But yeah, that was the name I went by. I had there was this competition with UPN 33 when it was still around, and I won that competition, best rapper in South Florida, and that was just such a big thing for my career as a rapper. And from that, I went on. I put out a song with Big D and Daytown Records. I had it segued into me being able to write, and I put out a song with Chris Brown and Lloyd, a song called "Love Me Girl." So it was just a good run. It was a good experience musically.
That's good, man. That's really dope. And how long were you in that whole music world for a while?
Oh my God!
How long did that last?
Music, it still goes on to me. I don't put it out to try to make money off of it or pursue it. But like in my podcast, if you hear the intros, that's me rapping. That's me that made the beat and everything.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah,
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you,
that is me.
Like, did you make the beat? Did you? You're the one that did your whole intro.
Yeah. That's all the way me.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
okay.
so I've never let it go. I've been rapping since 13. So that
you want to spit a quick 8 bars?
Quick 8 bars. Absolutely not.
Your
We're not gonna do
rhyme.
that.
Your favorite rhyme.
My favorite rhyme
that you ever wrote.
that I ever wrote.
Yeah, anything.
Oh my God,
Stop
man!
it.
Listen, I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. Like you're good. You're good. You're good because this is gonna live forever.
Forever.
If I say the wrong, it's gonna live forever, and then someone like Remix God is gonna put it out later and be like, "Yo, this is Derek Lane rapping."
No,
Nah,
listen, I'm gonna be the only person that has a Derek Lane verse.
no, you're not because we're
on.
not putting it out.
I love it. I tried, guys. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. But yeah, man. So you did. So you continue the music. It's like it's still part of you.
Yeah.
You just don't pursue it as heavy.
I don't pursue it as heavy, but I still do it. Like my theme song for the children's book. That was me that performed it. That was me singing it. That was me that produced it, wrote it, recorded it, everything. So I still do it in a certain manner. I'm going to still pursue the children's music route. So that's not it. So if you guys do want to hear music or bars, you know what? You're going to have to just step down to the children's level, and that's where you'll probably hear me.
All right.
But outside of that, man, when a certain company needs music for like their podcast, if they want to have a podcast, I'm like, we don't have music. I'll produce the music for their podcast. If they want singing, if they want rapping, I'll do that. I'll put it on there.
Dope.
So there's still ways to hear me.
So you're saying you want to sing?
I am saying that if I did not rap, you're definitely not hearing me sing, because the setup right now, I can sing with the use of auto-tune and Melodyne. I cannot sing on my own willpower. It's going to be pretty terrible. Once again, that is going to be something that will live forever. This lives forever. Forever, ever. That, yes.
That's awesome. That's I'm gonna keep trying, bro. All right, so you still do the music on the side, but not to that level, right?
Correct.
Which is good, man. Which is really good. And I know that you still, with everything you've done, you incorporate all these skill sets, right? So you were author, you're a writer, you're a musician. Then you started getting to social media.
Yes.
Or did you do anything before that?
No.
Am I missing something?
No. I think you got it all so much, man. I
mean,
think you got it all.
Did you ever film anything?
No, it was not until social media, and then that's when I got into filming and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did, shoot. I know that I first caught wind of you when you were doing your social media thing and you put out the book.
Okay.
That's when I caught wind of you, and I was like, damn, that is dope.
Bet.
Right? So you kept moving in that direction, but, I'm just curious, how did this whole social media thing come to your world? How did you become part of it all of a sudden? Like, what was the event that led you to this?
Boredom. Just sitting at home one day. It's the middle of the pandemic, and in the news, it was spring break. Not in the news, but it was spring break in Miami. And in the news, there was just all this reporting about chaos on South Beach, how the locals are tearing up South Beach. It's the pandemic. You should be home and all this stuff. And it was like 65 degrees that night. And I'm just watching it. I'm like, first, locals do not kick it on South Beach.
At all.
We don't do that. And then it's 65 degrees. We're not out at this time of day. We're not out at this time of night. We're not out in this weather. So I put that video out, my first video. So imagine my shock when someone texts me and sends me a picture and be like, yo, so is this you on World Star? I'm like, oh, shit.
You made it to World Star.
I made it to World Star.
That's what's up.
I'm like, all right, bet. Let me do another video. So my very next video, I put out a little thing where I was like, okay, you're truly from Miami if you know the first 6 words of this song. And it was the Trick Daddy. Anybody want to motherfucking die? Yeah. And that took off. Get another text message. Oh, is this you on Baller Alert? I'm like, damn, okay, 2 for 2 out the gate going viral. I'm like, there's something to it. Let's continue. And here I am, man.
That is dope, man.
Yeah.
That is really good, man. And none of that was planned.
None of it
not
was
a preemptive anything.
None of it was planned. This was not my direction. I was never thinking that I would be a content creator. I was never thinking about that. I always had a desire for film, but I didn't think that this would be the way that I got in the door. But, man, it's been fun, and I'm loving it.
That is amazing, bro. That's dope. That's really dope. And I had mentioned this when we were on the air on the radio station, 101.1 FM, $2. Cal, hit me up. When we were on the radio station, you mentioned we were talking about doing all these things, and then now, so you've done all these things. You got into social media, but I remember when you first got onto the show, I was really impressed by your speech.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
So I want to give you kudos for that, and at every opportunity I can.
Yes,
right?
I appreciate that.
It's super dope because that doesn't really happen. You don't have someone with that goal, and then all of a sudden they succeed at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a hell of a speech.
Thank you, my man.
So, what you know, you're what did you graduate in UM for?
I got my master's in public administration.
And then you jump into video.
Yeah.
Were you shitting bricks when you finally decided to show your face on video like this?
Yes, man. I have been a very private person.
Okay.
And after I hung up the music route, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to focus on doing things behind the scene. I had a friend who was a content creator. He was funny. I was always pushing him. But I was like, you know what? I feel like I want this more than you do. Mm-hmm. But I never fully committed to putting out content. So when it came for once again, but just to go back really quickly, that was probably my biggest highlight because was my dream school. Mm-hmm. My dad used to be a dean at UM. Wow. So as a kid, I'm like, I always want to graduate from UM.
Yeah.
And to have that moment, to go on stage and produce that speech. There were so many people in the stands in the crowd who came up to me afterwards and told me what that speech meant to them. Parents were crying. I'm awesome. Like, oh wow, I'm giving you that. So it was just so surreal. It was so dope, man. That was just one of my biggest highlights.
Dope, man. I mean, it was moving. It was
you.
Dope, man. It was really dope, man. That's why I had mentioned it back then, and I mentioned it again today. I just want to make sure that our listeners know that you're a well-rounded individual.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? And then this social media shit is not easy.
No,
it's not. It's gut-wrenching. It'll give you cold feet the wrong time, and it's just you never know if it's going to be a hit or miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you started off doing your own vibe, your own Top Miami. Like you said, if you're from Miami, you know the first six words of the song and so on. Now you do more info, more news-centric posts. That's what your podcast focuses more on. Mm-hmm. What changed that?
So for my social media, it's always been that news realm. I would touch on certain things, but I would do a little bit more funnier clips and stuff. But my 3 things that I always try to target for my social media is to entertain, inspire, and inform. So depending on whatever piece I got for that particular day, that's what I'm going for as long as it hits one of those 3 things. But my podcast, when I put it out originally, so I had 3 iterations of my podcast. The very first version of it was because people in my family or in my life would hit me up, want advice. They were like, yo, Derek, I'm going through this. And I'm like, okay, let me help you out through this. This is what I think you should do. Mm-hmm. And they would be like, cool, solid. Hit me back a few weeks later. Same problem. And I'm like, didn't I just help you with this? And then so I'll help them again. And that cycle kept happening. So I'm like, all right, bet, I'm tired of this because I'm certain that this is a common problem for other people. So I'm going to put out a podcast about this. And I called it The Last Word because I felt like I needed to vent because I was giving so much energy to people to help them through their situations. But I needed to get the last word, and that was my cutoff. But I felt a little bad. I felt like I was shitting on people, even though they were my people, and sometimes it was warranted. But I felt bad that I was doing that. Warranted. Yeah, no, it absolutely was. People, when they don't have their shit together, you can't always have your shit together, but it can be draining, and that's just the truth. Sometimes people want to lean on their strong friends too much, and that shit can weigh on that other person, and they're not checking on them. It's a very selfish thing when someone's going through something sometimes. Mm-hmm. They'll just hit you up and unload all of their shit. Now you have their energy, and then they get off the phone. They don't say, hey, man, how you feeling? How are you feeling after that? Your friend could tell you, hey, man, you know what? I felt like I was going to take my life. And they go through all of this shit. And then you help them. You talk them off that ledge. And then they get off the phone. All right, cool, man, thanks. And you're like, wait, what?
No, I'm on the ledge.
Now, who am I talking to? Where am I getting this out at? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so either way, I left from that version of my podcast and I wanted to focus on just positivity, helping people grind. Like the same way I put out the book. I wanted to give those same gems because a lot of those things that I experienced are transferable. When you go through putting out a book, when you go through putting out a song, when you chase certain dreams, all of them have the same checkpoints. And I'm like, all right, this is what I want my podcast to be about. But I felt like it was too broad. And I felt like a lot of people don't know Derek and my accomplishments and some of the things that I've been through. So I was like, you know what? It's just not connecting because they're like, who the fuck is this telling us how to be positive? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, bet. let me stick with Miami centric. It's all relative to what I do on social media. So many people have been asking for that. So my podcast is pretty much an extension of my social media where I get into the topics a little bit longer. I dive into it and I give my opinion over a course of time opposed to 30 seconds like in a reel.
Of course.
So that's how we all got here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in doing the news and you know, giving your 2 cents about it all, do you take the I notice that you do stand in the middle. You really don't lean to any other side. Like you don't really lean more towards any political side when you're reporting on it. Like when you mentioned DeSantis using COVID funds to ship immigrants.
Yep.
You really didn't take a side, but you stated the facts.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can end up being a pawn for another side, and neither side has it all together, and that's what makes our system work. But the one thing that I try to do is make sure that I am neutral in how I view something. Now, sometimes I may agree with how there's things on the Republican side. I will agree with things how they are on the Democratic side. But I'm going to take bits and pieces. Like that same thing that you brought up with DeSantis. I wasn't a fan of how that was handled. But then today, when we got the news of the verdict from the Parkland shooting, I appreciated what DeSantis said because I agreed. I felt that this guy should have got the death penalty.
Yes.
And DeSantis basically said he was disappointed and he would have done everything in his power to accelerate his death sentence if it was actually handed down. I agreed with that. And it's keeping it real. I'm not going to be jaded by one side. You know, if I vote Democratic, I'm not going to be like, well, I can't agree with that because I'm on this side. And that's where we get caught up. You know, we could agree to disagree. We can have different viewpoints, but that's what makes us great. We don't have to go down that road and double down on nonsense. And that's why I try to avoid it as best as possible or stay neutral.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I could agree with one side for A, B, and C and disagree for D, E, and F.
Correct.
You know, and that's that. I appreciate that as a consumer of information. But it's got to be tough.
It is, because although that's my view to be down the middle, I can make a certain video about a particular side where it might not be favorable for them, and the comment section is going off.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that, but you're helping my engagement. But sometimes, man, you have to take it with a grain of salt because people are going in because they only see it from that one side. Just to give up any bit of real estate to whatever their opposite beliefs are, it's like death to them. It's like, damn, okay, fine, all right, bet.
And I mean, it sounds like a recipe for disaster when you start doing things like that.
Man, one of my biggest beliefs, and not to go down the political road too far, but it's like what our country was built on is the ideas of being able to have a difference of opinion. You know, we broke from British rule because it was one way. So to identify with one side is the most ridiculous thing. So when people talk about being American, if you align with one side, you have just set yourself back to the exact thing that we try to break away from.
Exactly.
But okay.
I mean, all right. So let's stray away a little bit far away from politics, right?
Yeah.
Let's get away from politics, right? So, what's your favorite thing about Miami, bro?
My favorite thing about Miami, man, is home. I've tried to go to so many different locations. I did undergrad school in Ohio. I lived in Atlanta for a bit. No, Miami, Ohio. Oh, crazy thing. So the school I went to, it was this school called Tiffin University. This shit was on Miami Street. Bro, I couldn't get away. I could not get away.
Love it.
I could not get away, man. 305 is in my blood.
That is what's up.
And I would double down on everything Miami. So I'm in Ohio. I was like, man, I'm getting ready to go out here. I'm about to be in the middle of nowhere. So I went to the flea market, got a full set of golds. I'm like, I'm gonna be Mr. Miami all the way. So I'm out in the middle of Ohio with a full grill, and it was crazy because a lot of them were more Miami than me. Pitbull's album just dropped. Money is a Major Issue.
Yeah.
Man, they would play that all day, every day, no matter where I went. Damn it, man.
course.
Damn it, man.
Of
I'm like,
course.
all right, bet. You guys are Miami. So it was just dope. There's just no place like the city of Miami, man. The diversity, the food, the weather. Dude, how could you not like Miami?
Amen. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. I've been everywhere I've been to, from Middle America, Central America, overseas, Miami.
Yeah.
Miami's home. You come back, you're like, yeah, this feels normal,
Yeah.
and every, you go north, you start seeing some racism.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? On all sides. You come back home, you're like, bro, everyone hates each other here. We're good.
Exactly. But how Miami is set up, what good or bad, but how Miami is set up, it's so segregated just by the natural design of the city. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to leave your own community because it has everything you need. But when you do leave your community and go to a place like Wynwood, it's love, it's a vibe.
Exactly.
So I like that. A lot of areas they're just not that diverse, and Miami just has that feel. I know how to move in Miami. I go to other places, it just feels weird. I'm a fish out of water. I'm like,
Facts.
damn, man, I don't know how to get around. So I just like the familiarity of home.
That's good, man. That's really good. You've been in Miami all your life?
Yep, been in Miami my whole life. Yeah.
Unless you
Yeah.
went to school.
Yeah, unless I went to school, Atlanta was cheaper. I'm like, all right, let me live out there for a little bit. But I could not do Atlanta. I had to come back immediately.
So now that you brought up Atlanta,
Yeah.
how do you feel about that song where the girl starts naming hoods, saying that's not Miami?
Bro,
Exactly. Exactly.
so Miami is not like other places. Other places have suburbs outside of the city.
Yes.
But Miami-Dade County is a unique place where everything is Miami. So you can't exclude certain parts because Miami is made up of the areas of Richmond Heights. That's my hood. You have Liberty City. She said Opelika is not Miami. I'm like, how do you say Opelika is
can't.
not Miami? That's already invalid.
Yeah.
Like
You can't.
Opelika is Miami. All of these places are Miami. Everything that's made up. When you think about Cocaine Cowboys, that was South Dade. That was South Miami areas that built up. So you're gonna claim that's more Miami than anything.
Yeah.
So just how backwards that was, man.
I think it was. I see where her head was at, trying to make an impact to get people talking.
And we're talking.
But man, it's negative.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not the right conversation to have about it. You know what I'm saying? About your song.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she did her thing. She got people talking.
Yeah.
That's what it's
We
about.
talking.
That was probably her goal. But I'm just saying that if you're gonna have a song about not being Miami, you can't use a song that came from Atlanta. That's not Miami. The whole song is not Miami. That song is Atlanta.
Yeah.
That song is Atlanta.
It is. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. You hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah.
You definitely hit the nail on the head with that. And so Derek, tell me something that people typically wouldn't know that Derek Lane loves.
That Derek Lane loves that typically wouldn't know.
Yeah. What are you fans like? Tell me something that what's your day to day like, man? Because you're doing your social media thing, then you're branching off and meeting people like Abibi Lewis.
That's my guy.
Shout out,
That's my
Bibi
guy. Abibi
at
is my
Circle
guy.
House.
Yeah.
Bibi's a shit, man.
Yeah, Abibi is my guy. We crossed paths when I was doing music younger and I was working at 99 Jams. But he hit me up one day. He was like, yo, I keep seeing you on social media. He's like, come through Circle House. And so I pulled up. He was like, where do I know you from? And I told him. He was like, that's where. So we always cross paths, but it's a different world right now. So that's just cool. That's just showing love. But back to your question, something that people wouldn't know. I'm pretty private on social media. So I know I brought up my son, AJ. I have 4 kids.
Wow.
Like, I am a dad. I am deep in the game.
That is what's up.
Something else people wouldn't know, like my girl, that is my rider. Like my girlfriend, she is solid. I don't post about my girlfriend or anything like that. I keep that private. But man, my day-to-day life, I'm a lover boy, man. I love being home, man. That is what I'm like, man. So that's pretty much something that you wouldn't see on social media.
Yeah.
That's me day-to-day, man.
That's what's up, man. That's
Yeah.
good. That's mad. Like it's like
Yeah.
It's like Derek's got a regular life.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That's
yeah, it's
good, man.
regular.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's good. And keeping up with Miami is not easy, bro.
No.
At all. So I mean, when you took the turn of covering Miami news, I was like, man, this guy's taking up a lot on his shoulders because man, a lot of things happen. Not everything's newsworthy, but how do you pick and choose?
That is a damn good question. And I don't think I figured that out yet. How do I pick and choose? I don't know, man. It's a certain feeling. Thankfully, I have great relationships with my followers. I hate using that word followers as if I'm their leader or something
like a
like
cult
that.
leader type
Yeah,
thing.
but I have a great relationship with my social media community. And they'll tag me and stuff, and they'll want to hear my opinion on certain things. And I'm like, okay, if you took the time to value my work and you want to hear my opinion on it, then absolutely, I'll talk about it. Sometimes the news is just big enough to where I'm going to speak. Some days the news is just slow. There's nothing going on. And those are the days that if you watch my social media and you know if it's a slow news day, you might see like an original reel. You might see something where I do one of those voiceovers or something, something that's just like Miami content, like type of people not to trust from Miami or something like that.
Yeah.
You'll see that type of thing if it's a slow news day. Yeah.
All right. So now that you said you have a top 5 list of almost everything, what's your top 5 Miami things to do?
Top 5 Miami things to do.
Not touristy Miami, but like homegrown Miami folk want to go out.
Man,
Top 5.
first, I just love being in my community. I love Richmond Heights, man. I just love home. I love getting over there. I love being in there, man. So I just go there. My mom still is in that area, so I like to go over there, check in with her. So doing that, going to the beach, not South Beach, going to the beach, man. Like pulling up, I'll go to the beach, do that. I love playing basketball, so you'll catch me at some parks or something like that. I'll be hooping at sometimes.
Okay.
So that's 3. So 4, good food out here, man. You'll always catch me eating. Like I'll be at all the restaurants, checking out everything. And the last one, man, damn, that's a tough one. 5. Let's see. It wouldn't be Miami if I would say like I just enjoy listening to Miami music, man. We have so much history in our music that we don't get enough credit for. Miami is the reason why we have lyrics that you can actually hear where they curse because of
And
Uncle
the
Luke.
sticker.
Because of Uncle Luke, because of that sticker. We have Trick Daddy. We have so much impact and influence in music. And I just love Miami music that we don't get enough credit for. DJ Khaled does great, making sure, but he's gotten so international with his platform and stuff like that. But he still reaches back. But I just love the culture of our city in our music.
Did you ever hear Khaled when he was on Mix 96?
Yes, I did. Man, I listened to Khaled from Mix 96, his Orlando days, and when I was at 99 Jams, that's when he was there as well, too. Yeah, so I got to see him, man.
Yeah, we interviewed him for our third issue of 305 magazine. We interviewed him at the show. He was running around like a chicken without a head.
Yeah.
Doing his thing, and he took the time out, and we were in a lunchroom, I think.
Okay.
It was next to the studio. You had the studio, and then you had separate offices on the side. We were in one of those.
Okay.
And we did the interview, and the photo shoot was in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was wild.
In the lunchroom?
Not the lunchroom, but you had the studio, the actual radio studio.
Okay.
Then there was small offices, pockets on the side.
All right, bet.
Somewhere down the hall, it was right there. I don't remember the layout, but it was close.
Yeah.
And we, he hooked it up.
That's dope.
We got to sit down. We shot the shit with him and whatnot. But it's interesting because Miami has so much history in the music. Like, if you sit down and spoke with Luke, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
How deep the music industry goes.
Absolutely.
And like you mentioned, since you mentioned Khaled, that's why I had brought up the radio station 96.1.
Yeah.
Right, because that's when I got put onto him. It was like the Arab attack.
Yeah. So dope.
So it was fire, man. And then let me see, like, the history of music, man, in Miami. Pitbull, Little John, back then. Little John started with Luke, right?
I did not know, man. Educate us really quickly.
My man, Little John used to produce in Luke Records.
That's dope.
And he got put on, like, Luke used to put out these VHS tapes.
Okay.
Right? And it was the craziest parties. Just imagine a Luke party on a VHS tape that, it's like adults only, right?
Yeah.
Pitt was in there. Pitt had braids, like tight braids, and the whole nine. Little John was on there. Man, Trick, of course, and Trina, and bro, but it was wild.
Wow.
I mean, like, if you ever have an opportunity to sit down and talk to Luke, ask him about, like, that's a given. You have to talk about music, Miami music with Luke.
Yeah.
he'll educate everyone around him.
That is so
Like
dope.
it is incredible how deep Miami goes into the music.
Yeah. It's funny you brought up Lil Jon, man, because I was coming over here getting hyped, stuck in traffic. So I was like, I need something to shift the mood.
Yeah, facts.
So I was listening to Let's Go, Trick Daddy, Lil Jon,
Yeah,
and all that.
that's what's up.
And man, I just love the energy of Lil Jon, man. So when he comes on, man, he's like, so many dudes out here. And he's like, fuck them. I'm like, damn, okay. All right, bet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
dope as hell. Lil Jon was always dope, man. I can't complain about that. You remember old school R&B music?
Yes.
H-Town?
H-Town, yes.
From Luke signed him.
Luke signed H-Town.
That's a Luke product.
Bro, you are dropping gems
Bro,
and knowledge right now.
I'm telling you, man. Like if you go down history, Luke put everybody on.
Yeah.
Luke put a lot of motherfuckers on. Like it is incredibly like eye-opening.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Luke is another world. I got to get Luke on this show.
Yeah,
and
you
talk music
have
with
to.
him.
You have to.
Luke, I'm gonna reach out to you.
Yeah. Make that happen.
I got it. Yeah, man. I'm not even. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Luke on the show.
Speak it into existence.
That's exactly what I've just done.
Yeah.
You've helped. So let's bring it back to Miami, man. So
Okay.
So you've done all these things. Would you be able to say that there's anything too much? Like, is there too much social media? Is there anything like having too much social media?
That is another great question. Because social media, as you were saying before, social media will rock you. It'll fuck you up a bit. Because you have to make that separation to know that it's not real. Mm-hmm. Like you put your energy into putting out some content and it may not go. And it's not because it was bad. Mm-hmm. It's just because social media is a business. They're not in the business of creating a bunch of stars and a bunch of millionaires on their platforms. If that was the case, everyone would be winning.
Facts.
So you can put out some content, you could work really hard on it, and then it is going to flop. Not flop on the standards of you, it's just flop on the standards of social media, where it might get limited views.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to deal with. That rattles you because you're like, dang, I just want to share my art. I want to share my creation. So that's where social media can get a little too much, where you have to take a break from it and to know what's real. It was something that I was saying just the other day with a BB, that you have to focus on the things that really matter when it comes to social media. Mm-hmm. You can make a lot of money in that social media game. So focus on that real check. Or you can focus on trying to get a blue check. You know, those metrics that don't matter. You can buy a blue check. You can buy followers. Someone can buy likes, buy views. All those things don't matter. But somehow it still validates the work you do. Even though you try to make sure that it doesn't, that still creeps up, man. So that's the hardest thing with it.
But yeah, man, like I've always thought about that because everyone sees social media as not only an outlet, but there's potential monetization there, right? Mm-hmm. So people work towards it. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a social media guru or whatnot. But you have to ask yourself, is there too much? And if does one take it so far where they take it personal like that? Like you said it, man. You put out product, you put out this content, and it's ticking in your mind like, man, this is gonna do great, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Do you ever deal with that?
Absolutely. All the time, man. All the time. And I try to do my best to not let it rattle me. But one of the most important things for me that I know, like if you go through my follower count, you're probably going to see that, it's not that many followers. But if you see who my followers are, you're going to be like, okay, there's something shaking over here. Yeah. So those are the things that reminds me. And then when I get people like you who reach out to me and you're like, yo, it's dope what you do. What you do is really, really cool. Once again, the relationships I build with people on social media who reach out and the things that they say to me, where they're like, yo, man, you're just such an inspiration to me. Those are the things that help me combat that a bit. But still, it's one of those things that I would be lying if I said that it does not rattle me from time to time, just because I want to win. I'm competitive like that.
And what would you say to someone, you had great advice on the radio, though.
Yeah.
When last time I asked you this.
Yeah.
So I want to bring it back to this. What do you say to someone that is trying to make these moves, that wants to bring their idea they want to bring their product or their vision from idea to fruition and execution. What's the best advice you could give them?
Just go. Just hit go. That green light.
Hmm.
If you have an idea, make a plan, but don't over plan. Paralysis by analysis is going to stop everything. So one of the stories that I think was the dopest thing that I ever heard was how Fresh Prince got started. Will Smith was called over to Quincy Jones's house for a party, and Quincy Jones told him, he's like, "Hey, I see you as this role for Fresh Prince," and Will Smith was like, "I never acted before. I'm not ready." Quincy Jones pulled him into his office in the house, and he was like, "Listen, the people who are going to make the decision of whether or not this project goes is all out there in the living room right now. We can delay it and tell the people you'll come back, but John, he's going to have an engagement for his daughter next week. Billy's going to have something to do. Sarah's going to have something to do, and then everyone's gone. But in this moment, everyone is here." He was like, "So you make your decision." Will Smith hit go. Fresh Prince came out.
Amazing.
So go, just go. Don't overthink. Make it happen.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah. It was probably one of the dopest stories that I lead by. I always make sure to tell people, if you have an idea, just make it happen. Do not overthink it. And if something happens that goes away from your original idea, be smart enough to know how to pivot. Be smart enough to know that, okay, this didn't work. Let me tweak it a little bit right here. And then continue to go, because you're going to get hit. Mike Tyson says everyone has a plan until they get hit.
Fact.
All right, but what are you going to do?
Now what?
Yeah. Now what?
You could put out a song. I think I could beat Mike Tyson.
You can put out a song. I think I could beat Mike Tyson. All right, man. Listen, man. You're good. You're good. I like that.
I'm just saying. We're keeping the Will Smith vibe,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I like that. I'm like, oh, damn, that's fire, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're good.
I mean, you're good, kid. You're good.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about your show and your social media presence is you are always you.
Yeah.
You're not faking the funk. You're not trying to be anything else. And then when you take the stand with the news, you're hitting the nail on the head with how we're feeling about it.
Yeah.
Like, man, that verdict should have been death penalty.
Should have been.
Off rip, regardless of anything, death.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you seen The Dictator?
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's hard. So I appreciate you saying that. I think that I have an opinion that is pretty similar to a good majority of people. I don't think I say anything that is too different from what you may think. And if you think differently, that's still fine. Let's have a discussion, and it sparks that type of dialogue, which is important. But like we saw today with the sentencing, I don't want to bring the mood down, but I just have to say, because I was so disgusted and devastated by that. Yeah. The parents, they do not have their loved ones. The family members, wives, spouses do not have their loved ones anymore. And I've seen some people talk about, but it costs so much money to execute somebody. This is not a money thing. So what are we going to do? Yeah, what are we going to do with that money? Put new lines on the road? What are we going to do with that money? Build a new park?
Haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So what are we going to do? Exactly. So we haven't done it yet. And imagine if this guy is living up somewhere north in Florida in some prison, and a family member goes to live in that area, and they're stuck paying the taxes for him. Like, come on, man, that's messed up. I think that's wrong. And a lot of people were talking about if he goes to prison, he should go to Gen Pop so they can beat his ass and all this other types of stuff. Wishful thinking. But there's still another side to that. Gen Pop means he's going to have a relationship with those people. He's going to get to smile. He's going to get to laugh, sit down, play cards with people one day, have a job.
He has some kind of social life.
Yes, some kind of social life. Exactly. None of that is fair. I know people have their moral compass where death is just something that we should not decide. But in that particular matter, man, it was just disappointing how it turned out.
I didn't mean to bring this down. But yeah, you're right. But see, it brings me to the next question. If you had an opportunity to set up a round table with any key members of the upper echelon of Miami to the lower, who would you gather together to resolve Miami problems? But legit, don't. But I mean, like, legit, not like I'm gonna get the mayor because he's in charge.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man, because I don't want to leave anyone out. There's so many people doing great things for Miami, and I could be ignorant to what they are doing. So if I say that this person, or I give a list of 5 of saying this is the top of the top, there can be someone right now doing work that I'm just not privy to, and I just left them off the list just because I have a limited knowledge. So I can't say that, but I just want to say that what I'm doing with my platform and hoping what I come across is that we can galvanize the city and all raise up. I can't give a top 5, but I can say that the top vision is to make sure that we all lift each other up.
So that's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. I'm totally stealing
Yeah.
that. But you're right. No, it's you couldn't have hit it on the head much better because truth is you said it yourself. You could be ignorant to someone's moves.
Yeah.
And because you're not privy to that information, it's just you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see that they're changing their community in whatever way,
Yeah.
shape, or form. But it's a good way to not answer the question.
Listen, the thing is, I just don't have the answer. And the last thing I want to do is offend someone's work because
For sure.
a lot of the people doing that work, they do it from their heart. They're not doing it for the notoriety. So I can be listing people that have benefited the community in ways that I don't even know because they didn't want their hands in it. To circle back to music, like Prince. He would donate so much money to different STEM schools, STEM projects and stuff, but he just made sure that he told people, you cannot say that this donation came from me. So imagine if we're in Minneapolis and I give a top 5 of people who impacted the city and I leave Prince off. And it's just like, yo, he did all these amazing things for these people. Like, I can't do that, man. That would be ignorant for me because what if I cross these paths with these people one day and they're like, yo, you left me off that top
left me
5.
off, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, damn, my bad.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Stop hating me.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Let me see what else, bro. What do you got going on now?
Oh, man. So often I got killed where people were like, yo, Derek, we don't see you out. Like, we always see you just recording in your area where you are comfortable. We don't see you at events. We don't see you on other platforms. We don't see you engaging or interacting with other people. So that's what you're seeing this season right now. Like, I am just on go. I am like Kevin Hart. You're going to see me everywhere. My face is going to be all over the place until you're tired.
That's what's up.
And that's just what my mission is right now, man, just to put everything in overdrive.
That's good, man. That's really good. I know that saw you on Grumpy OGs.
Grumpy OG, shout out to my people. Shout out to all
Hector,
Crazy Hood.
Eddie,
Shout
Crazy
out to,
Hood.
yes, those are my guys. They always supported since day one. So like when my second video went viral, that's when EFN started following me. And when DJ EFN started following me, I noticed that Heckler, his wife, started following me. She is so dope. Heckler's wife put me on to him, and he's like, yo, I just keep hearing about this dude, Derek. Who is this? So from that second video, Crazy Hood, the whole family, they have been down showing love. So, man, those are just dope guys, genuine dudes.
That's dope, man. Yeah, they Crazy Hood. Love them dudes. Shout out Crazy Hood. Yeah, man. So I know that you've been making your rounds, bro.
Yeah.
You definitely making your rounds. So I'm really glad to see that, man. I'm really glad because someone that makes such an impact online should do it in person.
I'm such an introvert though, so it's hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna hold a conversation? Small talk. What
Bro,
is
look
that?
at you now.
Yeah, look at me now. Look at me now. Like I can do it, but I'm always like really nervous with it. So I was avoiding it for so long. People be like, come out to this event, and I'm like, oh shit, no, because it's gonna be one of those awkward moments or something like that. But yeah, I'm getting over it.
That's what's up, man. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, baby steps.
Yeah. That'll be the next book, Baby Steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah, how little Derek making friends.
Derek making friends. Hey, dude, we onto something.
Yeah, we are on to something, man.
But will you sing and rap?
I absolutely will.
No.
For those songs and for those projects. Yeah, you're trying to get me, man. Listen, if you guys want to hear Derek Lane music, you can check out the Derek Lane podcast. That intro is me. You can check out Derek Lane No Limit. That is me. You can look that up on all music platforms. You can find me.
We're going to have to do some searching on SoundCloud.
You can do some searching on SoundCloud, and I guarantee you will not find anything on SoundCloud. Man, I made sure all of that was going. And it wasn't like I was whack. Let me be clear. I'm not whack. Like when it comes to music, when it comes to rapping, like that shit is fire. It is bars, but I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit.
Oh, man.
You're not gonna catch me just doing it, man. Like it has to be the whole vibe.
I'm gonna plot and plan to get some bars out of you, bro.
I'm telling you, man. You have your work cut out for you. If that is your mission, it is going to be something that you're gonna have to dedicate your life to.
We are time stamping this motherfucker.
Yeah, timestamp it, date it. You can lock it, throw it in the ocean, man. And good luck, man.
It is October 2022.
Yeah,
it will happen.
Yeah, you can wait for it. Wait for it, everybody.
It might happen. All right. You destroyed my ambitions. So,
yeah.
So Derek, anything you have coming up that you want to tell us about, that you want everyone to keep their ears and eyes open for?
Man, before I plug anything, I just want to thank you for allowing me on both of your platforms. You are a genuine person, man.
Thank you, bro.
And so I just want to show love. You know, I don't want to plug anything right now in this moment, but just saying how dope of a person you are. To come across, be genuine, and be like, let me embrace other people. You know, there's this thing called competition where people might fear it, or they don't want other people to come on platforms just in a selfish manner. Not to say that I am competition to you, but just saying that in a respect, people close off, but you just embrace everyone. I see you in so many different realms, in so many different spaces. Like you had my man from Tea and Poets on. You had my man Shotty on. Just you embrace everybody, man. So you do it the right way, and I just appreciate that.
I still appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
But to not answer your question, because I don't want you to be like, oh, well, that's two you didn't answer. But just what's coming up for me, man, everything Derek Lane Media, just stay tuned. Follow me on social media. It is growing right now. It is going off.
Hell yeah.
I'm in a lot of projects, a lot of podcasts, a lot of things that I am creating, movies, script writing. It is a full court press going on right now.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's really dope, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I had this conversation after you left the radio station.
Okay.
Because the whole competition thing, I kept ticking in my head. I was like, it's crazy. Because someone else would be like, you're competing.
Yeah.
Straight up be like, that's competition and all the bullshit that comes with it. And I'm like, listen, bro, focus on what you're doing. There's more than enough road.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said that, we all looked at each other like, and Derek's got his lane. That's why Derek's got his lane, bro.
Exactly. Like I saw earlier, I saw one of my guys starting to do commentary videos.
Dope.
I'm not going to hate on that, man. You know what? If I inspired you to do your thing, you have your own style. We can look at that same piece of content, and I'm going to have a different perspective. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a different one. We're going to deliver it in a different way. So I'm not afraid of that. It's going to make me better, and I'm proud that people are merging into my lane.
Hell yeah.
Just know I'm hitting the gas, and I hope you got it away, because this is the fast lane.
That's what's up.
Hey, man, you got to be ready.
That is dope.
Yeah.
Derek, where can we find you?
On all social media platforms at Derek Lane Media. That is DerekLaneMedia. There we go. That's the closest to bars. That's like Twister right there.
I was about to say.
Like
you know Twister. What that sounded like?
What's that?
P-I-M-P.
Ology.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Be learning these biology. Let's go.
That's as far as I'm going to get Derek to rap.
That is as far as you are going to get. Yeah, man. That's close enough, but that's like, you can't say that part without singing along, man.
You know we're gonna have to remix you doing the spelling out everything.
Yeah,
remix that shit. That's as close to it as I could get, bro.
Remix it, man.
Shit, someone help me out.
As long as I didn't mess up, I'm like, oh damn, am I spelling it right? How am I spell my own shit wrong?
Shit. Well, Derek, thanks a lot for doing this, bro. And same here. I do appreciate having someone like you putting out the news. You know, just being yourself. And I think that, and for me, that's why I gravitated to you. You know what I mean? Because you're genuinely in yourself, and I knew it was going to be a good conversation. Every time we get together, it's a good conversation. The radio, it was super dope, and we killed it with your behind the scenes, which you murked me.
Now, listen, I didn't try to, but man, if you watch that video, like as you're talking and introing me, I'm just smiling and laughing because this is 101.1. I'm like, this motherfucker sounds like Freddie Cruz. I'm like, who is he about to intro? Is the Temptations coming?
That is funny.
I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, who is this? Oh, this is Derek. I'm like, bro, I'm not an R&B singer. I heard that tone, but it was so funny. And then Dre, she
With
told her
Oxygen.
story. Oh my God, she told the story about taking her mom to Oxygen. I'm like, this is hilarious.
That was wild.
Like
bro,
she
wild.
said it and she slid it in so cool. I'm like, you took your mom where? But
Where'd
man,
you go?
yeah, it was just dope behind the scenes, man. And I just wanted to have it running, so it was fun, man. I appreciate that moment again.
Man, so we're gonna have a part 2 soon, and shit. Good luck with everything you do, and thanks a lot for coming out, man.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you, family.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Yep.
Peace.